Have you ever wanted to experience full body tracking in VR chat or any other VR game, but it's just too expensive? Then these trackers might be for you.
This is the Haritora X.
Haritora X Wireless.
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 Haritora X IMU Full Body Tracker.
These are the Haritora X wireless trackers. I've been using and testing these trackers for over a year now, and they're still really solid. If I wanted to recreate this setup with more expensive trackers like Vive trackers, it would cost me more than 6 times more. Each Vive 3.0 tracker is $150. If I were to have as many Vive trackers as I have Haritora trackers, it would cost me $900. Add on 2 base stations and it's now over $1,300. There are several areas in which the Haritora X wireless trackers excel that make it my top pick. It's not without its drawbacks though. They're not the obvious option for everyone. There are several reasons why someone might opt for different trackers. Firstly, they are IMU-based trackers, which basically means that they know where they are in space based off of the motion sensors and where they are relative to the other trackers. This is different and less accurate than lighthouse-based tracking. If a base station is looking right at a tracker, then it is guaranteed to know where in space it is. Whereas with IMU-based trackers, they don't have an exact measurement for where they are in space. This is their greatest weakness, but also their greatest strength. For me, I find this quite convenient. Because of how they are tracked, nothing needs to see the tracker in order for it to work. I can be in bed under the covers and still have tracking just as good as if I were in the middle of a clear play space.
Alright, go ahead, go demonstrate getting up.
I'm demonstrating,
Oh,
dude.
she's
Shut up.
getting up. Oh,
Shut up,
she's
I'm
demonstrating. She's demonstrating so hard.
I'm demonstrating. I can turn however I want, and I can even wear my trackers under my clothes. With trackers like Vive trackers, I have to have a play space with enough space for the base stations to see me, have nothing in between me and the base station, and I definitely couldn't have a blanket or anything covering me. Even baggy clothing overlapping will cause you to lose tracking. The tracking with the base stations, though, are significantly better than the Haritora trackers. They are some of the most accurate trackers I've ever used, but I am willing to trade them for the convenience, price, and battery life of the Haritora X wireless trackers. I would have this and 80% tracking accuracy with a 9-point setup for $1,200 versus almost $1,400 for the same setup. I could buy a big screen Beyond 2E VR Chat edition with that money, and I want it so bad. Hey, if you're enjoying this video, would you mind hitting like and subscribe? It really helps me out and it's completely free for you. Alright, bye-bye. Anyways, back to the trackers. Here's one of the Haritora trackers next to a AA battery I had laying around. Not only is the battery longer than the tracker, but it's also heavier. These trackers weigh just 17 grams, when a Vive Tracker 3.0 weighs 75 grams. When I'm wearing these trackers, I hardly feel them and they don't move around. This setup process is relatively easy. They come in a package with straps, a convenient 6-ended USB-C cord, and a manual. Charging via USB-C is something I find quite convenient. Something they didn't have when I reviewed these a year ago is the Shiftall Steam app. You can use this to set up your trackers instead of the configurator, and it is so good. Most of the tracking issues I was having in the last video were fixed with the Steam app. I'll show a side-by-side of the tracking differences with both, but it is shockingly good now. The issue of my feet sliding around when I shake my hips is completely gone, and the issues when I bend over are significantly reduced. It used to contort my body, and now all I notice is a bit of sinkage when I bend over. This can also be fixed by going on the app and enabling feet buried correction, and this will make sure that when you bend over, it doesn't sink into the ground. Some problems are noticeable, but a lot better than before. Everything is a bit more smooth and realistic, and for just about $100, these are a steal. The battery life is another impressive feature. I found that it takes about 18 to 24 hours before they die, and they die at slightly different rates. After gaming to the point where one dies, it typically doesn't mean that they are all dead, but it doesn't really work with any of them missing. They also drain very little when not in use. I've had them sitting around for a month after using them and turned them on without charging to see that they're at 80% battery. This is so convenient for not having to plug them in after every play session. I usually plug them in every 2 to 3 play sessions just so I'm not cutting it too close. Another thing I have to address is the reviews for this thing. Some say that they have issues connecting the trackers and have interference, or just have to buy the optional dongle or it doesn't work. I've never experienced these issues before, but it's worth mentioning that some people are having issues with it. I'll put my PC specs on screen for reference. I use Virtual Desktop to connect my Quest 3 headset and always use Steam VR. I do not have the optional Bluetooth dongle, and I found that I've had no connection issues with the Bluetooth on a regular basis. Sometimes my trackers freeze, but that is due to the Haritora app freezing and not due to the Bluetooth disconnecting. So far with the Steam app, it's not had any freezes, but my experience with that is limited. The Steam app is called Shift-All VR Manager, and the UI is quite easy to use. Upon opening the app for the first time, you'll be prompted to complete the initial setup. If you need to access it again, you can always find it in the App Settings tab. Overall, most of the drawbacks are due to tracking issues that affect all IMU-based trackers as a whole. These are really solid, but I wouldn't recommend them for someone who is a professional dancer unless you're tight on cash. You can make them work and look good as a dancer, but they'll never be perfect, and it'll take way more care and effort than someone who has Vive 3.0 trackers. Let me know, would you buy these trackers 2 years after their release?
Why are you running? Why are you running?
Hey, go ahead. Go demonstrate getting out.
I'm demonstrating with you,
she's
shut
getting
up.
up. Oh,
Shut up,
she's
I'm
demonstrating.
demonstrating.
She's demonstrating so hard.
I'm demonstrating. God damn it.
She's gonna die. Chat, she's gonna die. Here we see it live. Autumn dying right now. Boom.
Stop. I'm not dead.
There it is. Ladies and gentlemen, she has died. And now it's the Logan Show. Welcome
No.
to my
No,
video
please.
now, everybody.
No.
It's all about me and how cool I am.
God.
You okay? Is everything
Yep.
okay?
Yep. There's a metal
I was
post.
there
There's a
earlier.
metal post on my bed. My bed's right there.
Yep.
It's a metal
5
post.
seconds.
One thing to note about these trackers is they do have significant problems with drift, but it is really easy to reset them. To do the normal recalibration, all you have to do is point your controller at the ground and click 3 times. You can recalibrate your entire setup in less than 1 second. It is really important with these trackers to be looking and making sure that no tracker is drifting off somewhere and that you're regularly recalibrating. I typically like to bring out a personal mirror every once in a while if there's not a mirror out in the world, just to check and make sure that nothing's going too crazy as far as my trackers go. Having said that, they still work well, and I haven't found any VR hardware or software that didn't have some issues with it, and this is definitely one of the downfalls of IMU-based tracking. If you're interested in how these trackers stacked up last year, then click on this video here. And this one, YouTube recommends specifically for you.